Hirose, shot, hit the post and deflected in. Power play goal for Akito Hirose.
Minnesota State will end up with the victory, and the Mavericks enhanced their record now to 14-9-1 in the year.
From BLC Studios in Mankato, Minnesota, this is the Maverick Hockey Live Podcast, presented by Dunkin. With your host, Shane Frederick.
This is the Maverick Hockey Live Podcast, presented by Dunkin. My name is Shane Frederick. I'm the host, and joining me today is Minnesota State senior forward and captain, Cade Borchardt. How you doing today, Cade?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Good to have you here. It's been a while since we've done the podcast. You guys are home this weekend. It's been a while since you've been home. It's kind of a little homecoming for everybody this week. You guys are coming off a nice road sweep at Arizona State, which followed a nice road sweep at Northern Michigan, which was a heck of a way to start out the 2023 portion of the season. Let me just ask you a little bit about the last couple of weeks and the way you guys have been playing. What's been good?
Yeah, I think just the buy-in from everyone. Obviously, the first half of the season before break wasn't what we wanted exactly. I think we learned a lot about each other and our team, and I think guys came back from break and just kind of thought enough has been enough, and got to work. And yeah, both those weekends were good wins. Anytime you can get a sweep on the road, it's huge. So to get both those, the one in Northern and then go out to ASU and stay focused and get that 6 points was huge. But yeah, like I said, I think guys are just had enough of the losing and the up and down, and yeah, it's been good so far.
Yeah, and if you go back to just in terms of your road games, you swept Bowling Green. You've won 6 games in a row on the road, which has been nice. Obviously, in between was the tough weekend at home against Bemidji State, and getting swept and just getting the 1 point, right. And so you're in a situation where the Christmas break, the holiday break comes along, and you mentioned the buy-in and kind of the enough is enough, but was there kind of a reset going into, coming out of that break and things that you talked about as a team and trying to figure out maybe a little bit more of whether it's your identity or what you guys could do going forward?
Yeah, I think no matter what your record is, you want to reset at break, spend some time with family, just kind of get away from the rink. We go through a lot as student athletes with school and not having classes over break, getting away from the rink and just seeing your family and stuff is obviously nice no matter how your season's going. But just the way our season started off, being so up and down, it was definitely nice to get a break and get away a little bit and refresh, like you said. But I think the biggest thing was just the enough is enough mentality. And we knew, I think we lost to Ferris the last 2 weekends, Ferris at home and then Bemidji at home. Which kind of leads into this week, and I know guys are excited to play back at home since we played the last 2 on the road. But and then we beat Bowling Green on the road, so we've won the last 3 weekends away, and then the last 2 weekends at home we've lost. So I know guys are definitely excited.
Maybe some of the up and down this season, and you can talk a little bit about this. But there's been a lot to adjust to this season. It's a very different team. Much has been made since going back to the off season, going back to the Frozen Four last year of who's not here anymore in terms of players who moved on, who graduated, who turned pro. It's quite a collection, obviously, of some really good players. And your team has had to adjust to that, and then also adjust to some injuries. So there's been some changing of roles throughout the current lineup because of some key players who've been out. And then you look at some freshmen who, taken a while to get their feet wet and now are starting to come to. It does seem like maybe unlike previous years for you at Minnesota State, this has taken a little bit more of an adjustment period to kind of, solidify what this team looks like.
Yeah, like you said, there's been so many ups and downs, guys getting hurt, but I think that next man up mentality has been big. And I think a big thing people haven't, or I guess not, maybe haven't realized, but I don't think we're as bad as people are made us out to be. We lost, I think, the 9 games. They're all by 8 of them were up by 1 goal. And I think people kind of missed that. Like, we're not, I mean, yeah, our record struggled in the first half, but we were right there in so many games, having some leads that we blew. Our record could have easily been different. So I think that was a big part of it too. It's just our team right before break. We kind of were just like, we're a good team. I mean, our record doesn't show that. Obviously, we've had some mistakes. Guys go down and had some bumps in the road. But like I said, you can't look at the past and just suffer from that. And we got to keep going. And we've had a good start since this break.
Can you talk about how that's been for you as a senior who, again, hasn't experienced a lot of that in your first few years here at Minnesota State, and then throw in the fact that you're one of the captains, part of the leadership group, where that becomes part of your role is to try to get things back on track, get the team back on track from a player leader standpoint. And not really necessarily having that experience, in the past, this kind of adversity. Every team, obviously, every season has some kind of adversity, but little different for this particular group of Mavericks compared to maybe previous teams you've been on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the previous years, we've had so many good leaders come through here, but I don't think we haven't had a year like this where this many guys have gone down and we've faced this many bumps. So it's taken a little bit of a different leadership style. I think the biggest thing is just trying not to get frustrated. Sure. As being an older guy, who's been through a lot here, along with the other older guys, just not showing frustration, sticking with it, practice habits, not getting frustrated. Times where we've gone down in games and stuff, and more than we have in the previous years, or losing, just staying with it and trying to get the guys to continue to buy in and not get frustrated and suffer from all the stuff that has gone bad.
Did you take a little bit of that? You mentioned, you weren't as bad a team as maybe people were making you out to be, and all those close games. Have you guys taken that on as a little bit of badge of honor when people start pointing out, at some point as you drop a couple games and your pairwise record goes down and people start talking, including myself, start talking about, things that you're going to have to do and looking way out in the season saying, well, they're going to have to, win the conference tournament to make the NCAA tournament, even though there's a lot of hockey left. And you've proven over the last 2 weeks that you've moved yourselves back up into the pairwise discussion. I think you're at 14 or 15 right now. So it does seem like things can change pretty quickly. Is that something that you guys talked about as a team, or you just looked at as a badge of honor, saying, now you got a little chip on your shoulder that, because people are saying things about this team that they haven't said in a long time?
Yeah, I think it kind of goes both ways. Obviously, we know what happened, and we have I think a lot of us have a more chip on our shoulder coming into the second half, as we should. But we also try not to listen to the noise. Like you said, people are going to say what they want to say, but at the end of the day, it's what's in the locker room that matters. And we knew we were a good team. We are a good team, and we just want to keep rolling from here. And like I said, it's the guys in the locker room that matter at the end of the day, and that we go out and do it. So,
and you guys know which areas that you need to correct or improve on or try to get better at and fix and tweak, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular for you that you felt like you needed to work on or try to improve your game, going forward?
I'm hard on myself, and I think a lot of us are, and take a little more on than we should. But maybe just try not to get as frustrated as much. This year it's hard not to show it as much in the first half. But like I kind of said earlier, just not getting frustrated, not showing other guys frustration, especially in games. But just overall, the whole game. I was minus 5, 6 at one point in the year, and so just defending a little harder. Just if it's not work, I've always had a little quote for myself: if it's not working, I just feel like I'm not working hard enough. So just getting in extra work, doing what I can just to help the team win at the end of the day.
Right now, you were tied for 5th on the team in scoring. You have 16 points, 3 goals, and 13 assists. Over your career now, you're up to 81 points, 27 goals. It's been a real solid career, and obviously a really good year points wise last year. You mentioned different areas that you talked about your defensive game, and in some of those areas? Are there some more in terms of scoring that you want to improve on too? It's always a tough thing. It seems like it comes in waves with different guys, and you saw a few players, I think, over the last 2 weeks start to come on. One of your co-captains or member of the leadership group, Brendan Furry, has had a really nice couple of weeks after kind of a slow start points wise. Suddenly he's coming on, which is got to be a real positive as well. And I think you're seeing that from a few guys over at least the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, I agree. Brendan's been playing awesome. I think a lot of guys have stepped up and been playing more consistent. Especially our whole team, just in general, playing more consistent this second half of the season. For me individually, I mean, it's the team first, I think, right. And I want to win. And obviously, I haven't been scoring as much as last year and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, that doesn't hurt me. If we're winning, which we are as of late, but in the first half, I was looking more at the team not winning than my stat line. But obviously, if a lot of guys are scoring more and stuff, you have a better chance to win. But like I said, I want to win hockey games here.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the last 2 weeks in terms of what it was like for you guys as a team. I mean, that's you can go further apart, but going from Marquette, Michigan to Arizona and back-to-back weeks are two pretty challenging road trips in and of itself. But what was that like to kind of go through that? Going from kind of those two extremes.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we were gone Wednesday to Sunday for 2 weeks in a row. It's not a lot of time here and a lot of time traveling, which it can be tough. And I think our group did a really good job of managing our time. Our practices were really good on the road, which can be tough with the travel and the bus and flying and stuff. But I think the guys managed the weekends really well. Obviously, Marquette, that's a unique place, but we did our job, went there, and then going to Arizona, I know there can be distractions, and our team did really well with knowing that we're going there. It's a business trip. It's not a vacation.
Right.
Coach kind of said that, and us leadership group made sure it's like we're here to get 6 points, and it's not a vacation just because it's warm and stuff. But we do want to enjoy it. It was nice walking to the rink every day and sitting outside and eating lunch outside and stuff. But we went there and we had a job and we did it.
The Arizona State, they're playing in a new arena. They're sharing that arena with the Phoenix Coyotes. We were talking a little bit about that before we started recording, but what was that like to be in that arena and kind of be in that atmosphere? You said the student crowd was pretty good as well. Can you just describe what that was like?
Yeah, it was a really cool atmosphere. Right when we got out there for warm-ups Friday night, like their whole student section was right behind the glass where we were warming up on, booing us and stuff. So it was really cool. That rink's awesome, just brand new, everything. Both sheets, good ice. There was a lot of fans both night. Just the stereo system in there was loud. It was just a really good atmosphere. It was a really fun weekend and made it even more fun to come out with 6 points.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something where a school like that, wasn't sure how their fan base would latch on to them, but it seems like obviously they've had some success over the last few years. They've done a really good job as an NCAA independent program. No conference affiliation with them right now, and you're probably seeing just with the success that they've had, some opportunities for. To build a strong fan base, like you said, and so that had you been down there before? I'm trying to remember early in your career. Did you go down
they
there?
Played there for I think a little tournament the year before I came in.
Okay.
I've played them. We played them my freshman year at home, and then last year at home, and then so this was our first time going there.
Maybe you were supposed to go there. There's a COVID season or something like that, and it ended up being just conference games or something.
Yeah, that year we only.
Or maybe this made up for that. I can't remember for sure.
Could have been something like that.
But just looking at social media over the weekend, it looked like there was a pretty strong contingent of Minnesota State fans there. A lot of people travel. A lot of people use their own vacation time to go watch you guys play. Were they loud enough? Did you hear them? Did you see them? Were they making some noise in the arena?
Yeah, it was cool. There was, I know a lot of people had that marked on the calendar right from when the schedule came out. So we knew there would be a good fan base there. But they were loud. I could hear them. There was a lot of purple in the stands, so it was definitely cool to see that. And I mean, the fans here are awesome, and just having the support, I mean, all the way down there. It's Arizona, and probably making a trip out of it, but it was definitely cool to have them all in the building with us.
It's got to be an interesting feeling, or a good feeling for you, to know that there's people who are kind of planning their schedules around your team, right, and around your games. They want to go watch you guys play. They've built a fan base and up enough that people are kind of circling those things on their calendar, and then they're making trips out of it. And obviously, you saw that last year in Boston as well. And that was certainly more unique. People are making their plans at the last minute because got to find out if you're going to win and move on. But what's that been like over your time here? To see that. And I know your first year when you played a lot was the COVID year, right? So there was not a lot of fans watching you guys play, but really since then you've kind of seen that develop from the fan base.
Yeah, it's awesome how consistent it is. I mean, every night you're going to get a good fan base at home, even on the road. I see fans all the time in the hotel. Even the families, there's always a small fan base if we're on the road, even somewhere far. And like Arizona, there was a ton of people there. But just even at home, just playing in front of that atmosphere, I mean, a low night there is 4,800. Yeah. And yeah, it's just incredible. Something I'll never take for granted.
A little extra incentive there sometimes. You don't want to disappoint fans. I mean, you don't want to disappoint them at home either, obviously. But, when you see a crowd like that making their way down, you almost want to make it worth their while.
Exactly.
And that was, did you feel like, those were interesting games where, you get, you go down the first night, right? Down 1-0 the first game, give up a shorthanded goal. Was that in the first game, or trying to remember how those games went down, but you came back.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah,
Friday.
The Saturday was a shutout.
They scored a shorthanded goal in the first.
Right at the end, right in the final seconds.
Yeah, there was like 10 seconds, something.
Right.
Yeah, had to regroup in the locker room there. I thought we actually had a good period.
Yeah.
Just a bad bounce on that goal, and a rebound came out and they scored, but nothing we could do on that one. But yeah, I think that's something we learned from the first half is controlling leads and managing when we're down one and stuff, not getting frustrated and cheating the game, just knowing it'll come. So it's been nice to see that progression since our break. Like I said, I think in Northern we were down a couple times too, and just didn't get frustrated and just stayed to our game. And I think in years past we've done that, and it's been successful.
Was that not happening the first part of the season? Was it easy to kind of, not know what to do in those situations, either, going down early or giving up a lead, which is something, again, when we talked about, not something that you experienced a ton of your first years here. You guys have done such a good job of maintaining those third period leads.
Yeah, we hadn't gone down much in previous years, so maybe a little bit of that, but I don't know what specifically it was, but there was multiple times we were up 2-0 or down a goal or whatever, and just didn't manage it as well as we could. But like I said, that's in the past, and we learned from it, and I think we got to keep going with managing the game.
You play Lake Superior State this weekend at home, and looking at the schedule ahead, really only 5 home games remaining, 5 road games remaining. Everyone looks at the holiday break as the halfway point of the season, and I guess it is if you count the playoffs, but it's kind of hard to believe that there's less than 2 months of the regular season remaining.
Yeah, it's crazy. Coach says it every year. Your time here goes fast, and especially with the COVID year for me and my freshman year not playing as much. It goes by fast, and you can't take a day for granted or can't let a day go by. So it's another thing we talk about a lot is just worrying about the day, managing our day, day by day. And I can't believe we have 10 games left, 5 home, 5 away, and then playoffs. It's definitely gone fast.
And obviously the CCHA standings are jam-packed at the top, and from one week to the next, depending on if someone's playing a non-conference game or has a bye week, the top of the standings have flipped a little bit here and there. With you guys playing Arizona State, Bowling Green, I think, moved back ahead of you in the standings. But with games in hand, It's almost pretty much a wash all the way across between Bemidji State, you guys, Bowling Green, and Tech. It's going to be quite a ride here over the next 5 weeks, or 6 weeks. With I think you have another bye in there. What's that's exciting. It's exciting for fans, you know, and no one's going to win this. No one's going to win the McNaughton Cup probably until the last weekend of the season. Yeah,
it's tight. It's been tight. That's like you said, when a team has a non-conference game or a bye week, things can change. It's definitely tight this year, and it's fun. Obviously, we'd want to be on top and way on top, but unfortunately, we're not. But like you said, I mean, we can't take a period off anymore, and that's what kind of goes back to me saying, I mean, we have to worry about day by day, because you let one day go, one weekend or one day of the weekend go by, and or a period, and you get back behind, that can affect your team in the standings. So everything's important from now on.
And you throw in the fact that I think just you're seeing the bottom of the league, you know, get better, right? So obviously, dropping the 2 games at home to Ferris State, as disappointing as it was, as rare as it was to have gotten swept at home, it had been so long. But they're definitely better than they've been the last 2 years, right? And you look at this past weekend, St. Thomas defeated Michigan Tech, which was their first ever win against a ranked team, I believe. So suddenly you're seeing kind of the gaps throughout the conference, top to bottom, kind of closing a little bit, which makes every weekend a little bit, you know, tighter, you know, across the board.
100%. Yeah, I mean, there's I feel like every team's playing well right now, and it's like you said. I mean, it's been a race for a while, and those lower teams or teams that have been lower in the past few years in this conference, they've definitely stepped up in this year. I mean, every team, like I said, every team's playing well, and it's going to be quite a finish. So we have to keep worrying about ourselves and our locker room, and I think it will be fine.
One of the things I think, just to touch one more time on these last 4 games that you've played, you've scored 18 goals in those games, and you've given up 6, and had a shutout. Keenan Rancier had a shutout on Saturday night in Arizona. Suddenly, those numbers start to look a little bit more like the Maverick team people are used to as well. I mean, so in addition to winning those games, you must have liked the way that you won those games, because it maybe felt a little bit more your style. With you're not trying to squeeze by on 2 goals or 3 goals. You're scoring 5 in some cases. I think it's 5 goals in 3 of those games and 3 in the other.
Yeah, I think, I mean, kind of go back to us saying how guys have stepped up. I think from the goalie out, I think that's been the biggest thing. Just defending, and as a whole, groups of 5. I think we're definitely the last 2 weekends we've defended really well. Starting with Keenan, I mean, he played unbelievable the last 2 weekends and bailed us out multiple times. And from the defense core, I think a lot of those guys have stepped up, and then us forwards as well. Anytime you can defend and get 5 guys back and make it hard to score on, get the other team frustrated, and it builds offense. So yeah, I think that's been the biggest thing. It's just our defense side of things, and it's led into our offense.
As you go forward here, just any other areas as you kind of build on that? Any areas you'd like to see this team build upon?
I mean, nothing specifically. I just think we got to keep going. We saw what we're capable of. We just had 2 huge road sweeps that against 2 really good teams. We don't have any time to waste, no days to waste. So we got to keep going. I think that's just the biggest thing, is just keep going and be ready at all times.
How about for you? What's your future looking like? Are you set to graduate this year, or where are you at on that? And
so I have 2 classes this semester. Okay. So I had 3 last semester. I have 2 this semester, and then I will obviously plan on passing those classes. Then I'll be done with school. So.
What are you majoring in?
Business management.
Business management.
Yep.
How's the academic life for you over this time? We've talked a lot of hockey. What's the school part like for you?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Obviously a little weird with the COVID.
Sure.
I think I've had like 4 or 5 in-person classes. My freshman year I had some in-person, and then my sophomore, junior year with COVID, I was online. And then I had an in-person last semester, and then I have 2 onlines for that they only provide online for my last 2 classes. So I haven't been on campus too much, but no, I've enjoyed it a lot. I've had some awesome professors, some good classes, and yeah, it's crazy how fast it's gone, and only 2 classes left. So
wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
And then what's your future? You want to try to continue to play hockey post college hockey?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of one of those things where I'm not trying to think about it right now.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to worry about our team right now and winning. And I think whatever happens, and when that time comes, I'll think about it more. But I love hockey so much, but I think my biggest priority right now is winning hockey games and doing what I can to help this team win.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I really appreciate you joining the podcast today. Best of luck against the Lakers this weekend. It'll be fun to see some games back in Mankato after a month away, and congrats on the last couple of weeks. See if we can keep it rolling.
For sure. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
All right, everybody. That is Cade Borchardt. I am Shane Frederick. This has been the Maverick Hockey Live podcast presented by Dunkin. We'll see you next time.